What is up, Chomp Nation? This is Morgan here, of course, General Mountain Time, and I have a review for Mortal Shell. Thank you to Evolve PR and Cold Symmetry for the codes. I am surprised as anyone that I have a Souls-like game here, and it's one of my favorite games of the year, but I want to tell you why. So, as you can see here, the look of this game is just really creepy and distinctive. Yes, I'm the knight fighting this guy in this dreamscape, and there's a giant fish that's going to eat me. And transfer me to another location. As you can see here from the screen, that looks exactly like a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne loading screen. The things I'm going to tell you about this game, like the fish eating my character and spitting me out a new location, are part of the appeal. It's just so weird, but it has this sort of beautiful, mysterious game logic to it that makes you want to see what's around the next corner. I'm going to fight this boss here. This is one of the early tutorial bosses, I believe. I'm fighting in my foundling shape, and eventually you'll find a mortal shell or a human body to wear like a sleeve. This is the first location in the game. It's called Falgrim, and it's really cool. Kind of reminds me of like the swamps from Bloodborne. A lot of poisonous frogs and weird creatures, and it's just a really interesting looking place to be. Boom! Yeah, that surprised the fuck out of me when I first started playing. I was like, that fucking bear trap on the ground. Okay, this game isn't fucking around. And the general flow and pacing of the combat in this game is similar to obviously games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. You know, you take your time, maybe get a hit or two in. Ah, there's that giant fish again. I can't get enough of it. I just want to sneak in a bunch of tiny video clips of that mystical, they call it the wormfish, I believe. But the hook of this game, and I'll talk about here in a second, is when you're in your mortal shell, or even when you're outside of your mortal shell, in your foundling form right here, you can harden up and prevent damage. Yeah, I was worried that giant frog was going to eat me, but he was my friend. Now, this is sort of like your generic sort of menu screen. It's pretty familiar. If you use an item a lot, you gain familiarity, which helps increase the value or what that item can do for you. So items are mysterious until you use them more and learn more about them. This is a really creepy looking area. Love the art direction in this game. You can see these giant fucking bats everywhere. Motherfucker shot me in the bow. I'm just trying to look at these bats, motherfucker. Let's try this again. Yes, look at the bats. They're like the size of my body. Just hanging there. Creeping me the fuck out. The combat's great. I'm going to show off that mortal shell technique right here. See, crunch, harden yourself up. It's on a cooldown. Get a couple strikes in, pull back. This is actually one of the larger, more dangerous enemies at the beginning of the game. You can see his health bar going down. Harden up right as he's about to hit me, and then I can finish him off because then the cooldown was done. So it's sort of like an escape plan, or like right when the enemy's about to hit you, you use it. So it's a really cool element that makes the combat a lot of fun. As you can see in this area right here, there's just fucking bear traps everywhere. And it's kind of like in Bloodborne, you know, there's mysterious shit around every corner, like a guy sitting in the dark in a wheelchair with a shotgun, you know, blow your fucking head off. But this game does enough to set itself apart. Like, it just has this really mysterious, mildly cinematic way of showing you the whole game. It's not going to beat you down with cutscenes, but has a really nice look and flow to it. Just creepy shit around every corner. Like, I freed and helped this giant weird imprisoned creature being with a big weird helmet snout. I don't know what it is. It's like a giant fucking bird. It's like the demonic version of Neki from Donkey Kong, ensnared in this hellscape. And that's what I love about the game. Art direction is a huge thing for me in these kind of games, because if it's difficult, that's fine. I want to get into the gameplay, but I need to want to go around the next corner. I need to want to see what's around the next bend badly. That's what keeps me going in games like Bloodborne and Dark Souls. In particular, Bloodborne. And I enjoyed this game more than Dark Souls 3. Bloodborne is still the king for me, but I could not believe how much I'm loving the hell out of this game. You get your generic sort of shop vendor here. Well, I take it back. It's the farthest thing from generic. Really creepy. Pet cat. I'll show you that in a minute here. There is some weird stuff in the game. As you can see right here, I'm just walking right through a chain. I thought this area was blocked off. It's rough around the edges in some parts. It's only a $30 game, but generally speaking, it doesn't feel cheap. There you go. Pet the kitty. Pet the kitty. I should have put that clip next to the shopkeeper clip. You know, live and learn. But you know, the environments are just staggering and gorgeous and really interesting. And there's only a couple different environments, but they're all really cool and fascinating to be in. This is one of the larger enemies that I got into a little bit of a tussle with. I started to panic a little bit and grab my bearings. I'm using the stronger mortal shell here that I just found. It has low stamina but much higher durability. I just think it looks really cool. It's more of a knight looking kind of shell. And again, the mechanic in this game of hardening your shell to prevent damage is really unique and fun. You can also get knocked out of your immortal shell, and if you kill the enemy you can get back in it, so it's sort of like a second chance that you see in something like Sekiro almost. I just thought this was a really cool epic look in the background. You can see those giant sort of dead trees in the swamp coming out of Falgrim, and this huge sort of like stone walkway just jutting up out of the swamp. There's all sorts of weird enemies and bosses, and even though the game is more condensed, like it's not on the scale of something like a Bloodborne or a Dark Souls 3, it's not lacking in personality, and I'm still loving the hell out of it. Now, one of the cool things about the game, sort of getting the mystery of the lore, is that before you can do anything in the game, you have to learn your name. So before you can upgrade your character, you go to this lady here, and she's like sort of like your generic sort of hub area level up character. But in this game, whenever you inhabit that human shell, that dead body, before you can learn any abilities, you have to learn about the shell you're inhabiting. Who was that human being? They have like sort of a long speech or a long quote that they give you, sort of like a little bit of a lore, a little mystery about who they are, and it makes it feel a little cooler than this is just some random dead body that I picked up. It has purpose, and then it opens everything up. You can learn abilities, and each of the 4 mortal shells have different abilities. So there's a nice hook there. I still think that upgrading the weapon was more fun and satisfying for me because I felt a lot stronger than the abilities, but it's a nice hook, a nice twist. And again, the lore, the design, the art direction, everything about this game, it's only $30. I'm loving the hell out of it. And I did end up whooping this guy's ass after I upgraded my weapon a little bit and played the game and just got better and better and better. And so this is Mortal Shell. This is a surprise coming from me, someone who just doesn't play these games all the time, these Souls-like games. This is one of my favorite games of the year. Look at that giant creepy fish in the background there. It's just, you want to see what's around the next corner, which is the highest compliment you can pay to these games. And the hook, the hardening mechanic of the Immortal Shell, separates the game and makes it just a lot of fun to play. So, yeah, I'm loving the hell out of Mortal Shell. This is Morgan here, of course. I'm Sword Chomp. Hope you enjoyed this sort of mini review, and thanks again to Evolve for the codes.